on Route 52, approximately 3.5 miles southeast of Pine Bush. The area is believed to periodically generate magnetic pulses strong enough to cause airplane instruments to fail. Is this site a vortex, and is it responsible for the area's anomalous activity?
And it's this area where I got my start back in 1992. Discovered that this was an area of interest right in my own backyard.
How did you associate the possibility of increased magnetic readings or anomalous magnetic readings with the presence of UFOs?
This is a map that I generated from 1,800 stations of data that shows the geology of the region, and if you notice running up the center of it, there are a lot of these strange oval anomalies.
Right, I see that.
And when you plot the activity in the valley, in these yellow circles, numbered, are all corresponding to these magnetic anomalies.
The charts seem to show a direct correlation between areas of high magnetism and the appearance of strange lights and objects in the sky, including the many sightings of the 1981 to 1986 flap. This means that 2 of the 4 criteria for hotspots has been met. 1, the area is a highly anomalous magnetic region. 2, it has an ongoing history of unexplained phenomena.
I've had over 120 sightings or close encounters in this valley alone. And many times I've actually photographed or videotaped the event.
This extraordinary time-lapse photograph shows an illuminated object which appears as a line of light. But what is most intriguing is the funnel-shaped field of light the craft passes through. It's long been speculated that UFOs may be able to travel to distant stars by creating wormholes. This would take vast amounts of energy. Perhaps alien craft are drawn to certain places because they can tap into energy fields. Is this photograph the first evidence of a UFO receiving energy from one of Earth's vortexes? The team is in Pine Bush, New York, testing to see if the area meets the criteria that identify it as a UFO vortex.
My interest as a scientist was to document what do we actually have going on here.
On April 28, 1993, Dr. Cornett set up a camera and took this time-lapse photograph. On first glance, it could be the lights of an airplane painting a line across the screen. But Dr. Cornett believes it's something else, something not of this world.
What makes you think these are not airplanes?
With an airplane, you're going to get the lights moving in a fairly straight path. There's not going to be any motion to the lights. There's not going to be a rapid changes in direction of the lights. It's going to be pretty much predictable. I discovered some very unusual things. The lights are not straight, they're looping.
In a time exposure, the shutter is left open for an extended period of time. Any moving light will paint a line on the film. A blinking light that's moving will show up as a string of dots. In this photograph, the light source was spinning in tight circles, a maneuver that no known aircraft can execute. Is this a UFO? As a trained scientist, Cornett has been meticulous in documenting each sighting, noting down time, place, duration, distance, and altitude. His extraordinary photographs appear to show lights flying too low to be conventional aircraft, executing impossible twists and turns, moving through energy fields, and appearing and disappearing.
I've shown these to people and they said, well, you were bouncing the camera. Well, the camera was on a stable tripod and operated with the electronic shutter release. So there was no vibration in the camera. So the movement or the rotation that you see here in the lights is primary. It's coming from the source.
Cornett uses a Minolta XGM camera with an electronic shutter release and motor-driven film advance mounted on a tripod. Once the camera was oriented, it is never physically touched. Depending on the nature of the object in the sky, The film is exposed from as little as 10 seconds to as long as 47 seconds.
We've looked at all of Bruce Cornett's pictures, and this one in particular is very interesting. It does show a kind of break in the light signature of whatever this vehicle was, possibly a UFO. This could be a vortex.
This extraordinary time-lapse photograph, taken on April 28, 1993, shows an illuminated object which appears as a line of light. While it's difficult to judge the size and speed of an object in the night sky, it appeared to be about the size of a fighter plane, moving at a relatively slow speed, between 30 and 45 miles per hour, far slower than a conventional craft. But most intriguing is the strange funnel-shaped field of light the craft either creates or transverses. Experts have come to believe that this seminal photograph has captured a UFO apparently dissipating or dissolving as it encounters a powerful energy field over Pine Bush. The presence of anomalous energies has been cited as one of the 4 factors that identify UFO hotspots. Dr. Ted Ackworth and optical physicist Bruce Maccabee analyzed the photograph.
This is a stabilized camera. It's obviously not moving in a perfectly straight line. It looks like it's a wavy motion. And then it looks like a huge burst of oscillation at this point. Something happened, made this image spread out and then contract again. I don't know, get off course or something like that. But then it shrinks back as if it was traveling along, and then something happened, and then it resumed where it was going. And we can see these little dots along this image. If this is a constant pulse rate, then that sort of implies this thing is traveling along at some steady speed.
I'm really curious about this one because it looks like some sort of a damped harmonic resonance. You're seeing something that's making that motion from a still camera, or the camera is getting excited.
Harmonic resonance would occur if the camera was vibrating. Jostling the camera would create a blur of light, but it would be symmetrical in shape, which does not appear to be the case here.
You didn't hammer the camera now, did you?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, that was my initial guess.
If you imagine the field of view of the camera were to oscillate up and down like this over a short period of time, you'd get a series of things like this. I don't know how you get something like multiple light images, making this sort of a bunch of parallel lights. You got a whole bunch of very fine filamentary curves there, and I don't know what that means. But at the very least, we can say this is unusual or bizarre, or not expected. There's something strange going on. There certainly isn't any airplane that goes into a motion like that and lives.
According to weather records for that night, there were no strange weather anomalies. There were no thunder showers, lightning, or rain. There were no reports of commercial or military aircraft over the area. Further, there was no reported comet or meteor activity visible in the area.
The coordinate photo is one of the best pieces of evidence from a scientific standpoint that we've been able to collect around the concept of vortexes.
The strange distortion could be evidence of an unusual energy pattern, the first criterion of hotspot correlation. The second criterion, that of continuing sightings and anomalous behavior, has been documented by Bruce Cornett's meticulous photographs. The Stewart Air National Guard Base in Newburgh, New York, is 16 miles away from Pine Bush. The third UFO hotspot criterion is the presence of military.